Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oyundi free predani mashapa. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, a veteran in this channel, welcome back for yet another exciting episode of Risk Money and Insurance, okay? And so today we're still talking about credit, right? But more specifically, I'm going to tell you how do you stack your debt away, right? So this is a method that people use when they want to get out of debt. So how do you stack, your debt away, for example, right? Let's say, you have a couple of people that you owe. Because, sometimes, some months, things are rough and you end up spending more than what you actually earn. And so I guess the more simple way for you to do whatever you wanted to do that you didn't really get to use your money for, to just get the additional money, is to borrow, right? You borrow and the cycle continues like that. Next month, you repay whatever you owe. And it turns out you actually still don't have enough money to sustain yourself, like pay your living expenses. So what do? You borrow again. Next paycheck, you still pay back, and then you continue to borrow because now income is here, your expenses are like over here. So now, okay, cool. How do we then solve this problem? How do you begin to stack your debt away? And by stacking your debt away, I'm not saying run away from your debt, ignore your debt, because trust me, in as much as you can say you are staking your debt away, you're not really staking it away. You are paying it off, but it's a method that you're using to pay off your debt. So how do you do it, right? So this is the thing. Sit down, right? Take a notebook. Where's my notebook? Sit down, take a notebook, and, write down all the people that you owe. So on my list here, I owe Sports Scene 10,900. Perhaps I've been buying a lot of sneakers, whatever. And then the second person, I have a Capitec credit card. So I've borrowed like 3,500 from my Capitec credit card. And another one, I have a car loan, So I still owe the bank that money for the car. I also have a mortgage, So I still owe, this bank also another money for the mortgage for the apartment that I bought. I owe, perhaps I owe my friend like 10,000 rands, for example. I don't know why you would actually borrow your friend 10,000 rands. Chill, when you borrow your friends or family money, you must be willing to lose it. It's just like you have to be in a space where you're like, I'm okay with not getting this money back. We're actually talking about this with a friend. Like when you give your friends and family members money, you must be aware. So interesting thing, if we are now beginning to start the process of staking our debt away, this is what you do. So you write your debts down, all of it, right? From like the most expensive one to the least expensive one. And when we say the most expensive one, really, we're saying the one that is charging you the highest interest rate. In this scenario, you might actually find that, your store account card, your Sports Scene account card is actually charging you like 21% interest rate. I know that's quite high, and that's like what people don't know. They charge you, for those clothes, they charge you. And then the second type example, the most expensive one is perhaps your credit card. You got that maybe at like 15% interest rate, right? Then the third one is like, your car financing loan, which was like 9.5 interest, which was at like 9.5% interest rates, right? And then the last one was like your home loan, where they were like, man, prime is like 7%. So let's give it to you at like 7.5%, right? So you have all this debt that is lined up and that is just facing you. Now, how do you begin to stake it away? Then the first one is just to arrange it like in order, just as I did now, in order of interest. So what you do on a monthly basis, you still repay, your debts, all of them, make those minimum monthly installments, right, which I will show on my screen. You make all those monthly repayments, and once you have, excess cash that is remaining, you take that excess cash and you put it in the debt that you owe that is most expensive. So in this case, it will be your Sports Scene account. So you throw in whatever excess money you have towards that. And this is the important thing. So what you're trying to do really is to pay the most expensive debt first, so that you don't pay a lot on interest, right, moving forward. So that's what you're essentially trying to do. You will pay off that store account card first, and then once you're done with that, you go to the next expensive one, which is your credit card, which you can also pay off whenever you get extra money. You just throw it in your debt. The second one on the list, you just throw it in that. So this is what you do until you repay all of them off, right? So in the end, you sort of save on interest. And if you didn't do it this way, then you would in essence like pay more. If you just continue to make minimum monthly repayments on all your debts, then what will happen is in essence you pay more on interest. And that's not what we want. We want to save on interest because already debt is here. So this is in essence how the stacking method works. You start with the most expensive one, but still continuing to make the minimum repayments on the other debt. Whenever you get additional money, you just pay off on the most expensive debt. Make sure that you pay that off first, and then you move on with your life. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if you look at what you're paying, if you continue to make minimum repayments, whether it's for your car, whether it's for your house, whether it's for your credit card or your store account card, whatever it is that you owe, you pay a very significant amount on interest. And to be quite honest, banks are not going to give you money for free. The stores won't give you clothes for free. They need something in return, which is why you must watch out, because those clothes are really expensive. Imagine if you were to go to a certain store X. I don't want to shade any store, but like if you were to go to a store X, one item costs you like 1,500. You walk out of that store with 10 items. You most likely owe 10,000 rands or 15,000 rands. Just because you bought 10 items from that one store, which is why they introduced this whole process, because they know you can't afford it to begin with. So why not trick you into, buying these things on credit and then tell you that the minimum repayment is like 150. You have this large debt of 15,000 sitting on your neck, but they know they're going to chow you with interest rate. So if you are trying to stack your debt away, do what I did. Just write that list, write the interest rate as well on the side to say which one is actually more expensive, right? So that you make additional payments on the most expensive debt that you have at the moment. And once you're done with that, once you've closed off that account and you're no longer owing, you move on to the next expensive one. And at the end of the day, save on interest. Be smart. And while you're in this process of stacking your debt away, of trying to be debt free, right? I understand it's tempting to go back and borrow more. But the thing is, you just need to restructure your budget, because you might be asking, where is the additional money going to come from? The additional money will have to come from you adjusting your budget, or you starting a side hustle specifically meant to repay your debt. You are now on the road to freedom when it comes to being, debt free. So at the end of the day, you can either reduce your entertainment budget. If you go out 5 times, 6 times, just go out like twice a month and take the other additional money, stack that on the most expensive debt that you have. And so be responsible. Credit is there. It's not necessarily good. It's not necessarily bad, but it's how we use it that determines, what it does to us, our credit scores, our finances, our stress levels, our personalities. Because some people are not just angry. They're angry because they owe other people money, So at the end of the day, you just need to make sure that you do what is good for you. And okay, cool. We have come now to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted it to be short and sweet. And I'm going to record another one very soon. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Mwah. I will see you guys in the next video.